here with Jackson Merrill, San Diego Padres center fielder. Jackson, appreciate you joining me. We'll start off really easy here. Going into last season, life was a little bit different. You know, you're trying to get a spot on the Padres roster. You're playing short, learning a new position. Really didn't know what 2024 would have in store. 12 months later, life's very different, right? You have a monster year, rookie season, runner-up for Rookie of the Year, get to the postseason, you mash. How has life changed for Jackson Merrill in the last 12 months?
Yo, first of all, thanks for having me on, Russ.
Yeah.
Appreciate this. You know, it's kind of an honor, and it's also chill, so I'm loving it already. Life's just gotten a little bit, a little bit bigger, a little bit better, but also it's gotten a little bit more chaotic. You know, there's a lot more stuff that's going on outside the field now, and at the field is more like, get there, get in your work, and get out, So get ready for the 162 coming up, and yeah, it's been chill, but I'm ready to go right now.
Going from playing a position you played your whole life, shortstop, to then being asked to play another very important position up the middle, center field. Looking back on that transition, I know you said when you got drafted, hey, I'll play anywhere. Mm-hmm. But when it actually goes into action, how do you feel that you were able to do in that short amount of time at doing that?
Yeah, it was crazy. That was a crazy, just like that,
Yeah.
It wasn't even a thought in my mind, though. Like, I never said no to myself. I never said no to anybody. It was like, you want to play center? And I was like, yeah, I'm out there. I'm out there for you guys. But it was funny. Like you said, when I got drafted, I said I'd play anywhere. I actually asked when we got out to AZ, I said, can I take some outfield drills? And the coach was like, no, you're not allowed to. And then, years down the road, I'm like, hey, look now.
Right.
I should have took those outfield drills. That'd be a little bit better. But all in all, it's been great. It's been a fun ride, a fun new challenge to kind of go and take on. And, I'm excited for the coming years, whatever other positions I play.
And I know every kid out there that plays shortstop growing up, it's just like, I'm a shortstop. And it took Mookie 10 years to go from right field back to short. Mm-hmm. In the back of your mind, you're like, hey, I'll learn center field, maybe earn a gold glove, and then in 10 years, maybe I get back on the dirt. Is that something that you're interested in possibly doing if you get the opportunity?
Yeah, you never know what could happen, and I'm all for anything. Whatever position they want me to play, I'm going to. But if they ask me to play short, it's an immediate yes. I mean, it's my first nature. That's what I played since I was a kid, so getting an opportunity to go back there, I'm absolutely taking that 100% of the time. But I love center field, dude. I think I love center field just as much as I love shortstop, just because I'm on the field, I'm in that lineup, ready to go every night.
I know how much you love the game of baseball. Being in center field, you get to see the cathedrals that are these ballparks. Do you feel like you get to take in a park more where, between pitches, you get to look around, especially at Petco where you play every day? It's like, man, I think back to the postseason and how that crowd's rocking, or on a nightly basis during the season. Do you get to feel that energy from crowds a little bit more, that you get to stand back and kind of see the whole thing?
Yeah, I feel like when you're in the middle of the field, like you're a shortstop, everything's kind of on top of you. You're in the middle of the outfield, you're in the middle of the infield, you're kind of just in the middle of everything. I think the outfield was cool, kind of like a catcher to look around, take it all in, but also a little bit more quiet, In the infield, you're looking in the dugout, looking for the position you're supposed to play, making sure you're in the right spot, holding the runners on. In the outfield, your job is to run, catch the ball, run, and throw the ball in. Right. So for me, it's just it's just fun. It's fun to see the whole ballpark and take it in all 9 innings every game.
Now let's go back to 2021, your senior season. Not that long ago, you hit 13 homers in 18 games. You guys go 17-1 that year, runner-up state championship in Maryland. Going into that season, did you know, hey, if I have a big showing, I could potentially be a first rounder? Or was that not even on your mind?
No, it wasn't even close. I think in the beginning of the season, I had one scout at the game.
Yeah.
I think the first game of the year it was pouring rain, so we weren't gonna get anybody there, but still only had one scout. And then you'd see by game 8, it was 20-ish, and then the first playoff game, I think there were 60 there. So it was like that. 18 games is not a long season.
Right.
That's a short season for high schoolers, and it just happened so fast. I think the COVID year really kind of helped me in a way. I don't appreciate COVID or what it did to anything in the world, but for me, it was that was my opportunity to just pounce on baseball and just keep grinding and getting better. So it all happened really fast.
I was gonna say 18 games. Now that you play 162, that's a really short stretch. Have you ever been on a heater like that? Over 18 game stretch where you're 13 pumps in 18 games is pretty good.
Yeah, it was a heat check for sure when I got to pro ball because you're raking all year. You go to the Maryland All-Star game, hit
Right.
another homer. Like, it's just everything's rolling. Then you get to pro ball, and I'm facing 70 miles an hour in Maryland high school baseball. You know, not the greatest competition. So you get out to pro ball, I'm seeing 95 with ride, and I'm like, dude, what is this?
Right.
Like, I don't know what this is. So it was a heat check for sure. But like I said, like center field, a new challenge. Pro ball was a huge new challenge, and it was fun, kind of the grind, getting through it, and getting ready to face better competition.
Your mom's a teacher and taught you at one point. Your dad coached you for a long time as you were coming up. Did you feel the pressure of having to be on all the time, both in class, but also when you got to the field every day?
Yeah, so surprisingly, my parents are actually like, they're not lenient, you know, they're on top of things and
Yeah.
they're a little strict, but you know, they weren't very like up on me about school that much, you know. They knew what my priorities were. They knew that I loved being an athlete, I loved playing sports, so they knew that sometimes school was gonna come after. And I was a B student, you know, nothing crazy, not the smartest kid in school, but definitely was, you know, I was able to get my way through. But, you know, they're just proud. They never really complained about how I acted. They're always respectful to me. They always treated me just like their son, you know. And no, I couldn't be more appreciative of them today.
You, first round pick, you speed through the minor leagues, get to the big leagues. A lot of that happens really fast where sometimes you don't even get to stop to smell the roses yet.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you've learned so far in your year in the big leagues, but also in some of that time that you had in the minor leagues?
I think respect. I think respect is huge. You know, in the minors, it's kind of hard. You get guys in and out of your team. It's hard to learn everybody's name, and like, it's kind of just like an ongoing process of guys getting sit up and down. But the bigs is like, you got to have respect, dude. There's people that have been in that locker room for 10 years. You don't go into a AA locker room and there hasn't been a guy in there that's been there 10 years, you know. You get those guys that are like kind of minor league grinders in AAA that have like 6 or 7 years under their belt, but nobody's played 10 years in one team in the minors, you know. So, you know, you go in, you got Manny, Toddy, Joe, Darvish, like there's so many heads in there that you just got to look up to and respect their time and their privacy. So just knowing my own space, obviously making good relationships with those people is huge. You know, I have a great relationship with most of them, and I can't be more appreciative of that, but learning how to respect those people, that was a big difference for me.
You talk to people around the game about Jackson Merrill, and they will say that he is one of the more confident people that you will ever meet, but it's in a good way. Where did that stem from, and can you identify where you first realized, like, I'm kind of good at this baseball thing?
I kind of just like, I don't talk a lot of smack, but like towards my close people, I like to talk smack to them, you know, keep them on their toes, making sure they're doing their work right and, you know, staying active. Like my 2 roommates I live with right now, I mess with them so much. So I'm like, you guys better lock it in. Like you got big season coming up ahead of you both and, you know, have your minds right. But I got to thank my brother. You know, my he's been there since day one, beat me in video games, beat me in athletic activities. You know, he's never let me win. He never lets me win when I was young. So, you know, him kind of doing that and me wanting to get better and get to a higher level and able to beat him in that, you know, I've took that to my baseball. And, you know, I think right around the senior year, like you said, that was like my moment. I was like, this is my passion. I want this forever.
6 game-tying or going-ahead homers, 7th inning or later. In those moments where guys, you know, maybe you squeeze the bat a little bit more, you're thinking about a lot of things. Do you think that confidence is what helps you, kind of take a step back in those moments to be able to be the best version of yourself?
Yeah, I think having confidence leading up to that moment is huge, but in the moment, it's a blackout. You know, you get in those ABs, and if you're locked in and you're focused, there's nothing that's going to take you off that. Like, you don't even think about anything. You're up there trying to hit a pitch and trying to do something for your team. So that was me in every moment. I can't even go back and remember, like, walking to the box or getting in the box or even saying what's up to the umpire or anything. Like, I was just so locked in that it just takes over. You know, it's a blackout moment.
I know the season can be a blur, and in your first year, a lot of different things happen. You talk about the 6 game-tying go-ahead homers. You make it to the postseason. You guys go on a crazy run in the second half. I want to take you back to a specific series and a specific game. That series against the Dodgers, NLDS, rivalry of California, but game 2 of that series in LA, you guys win it. Starts with Profar catching the ball in the corner, fans giving it to him a little bit, and then you homer later in that game. Toddy hits 2 homers, things flying on the field. Like, what was that series, but specifically that game, like to be a part of?
It was like the Coliseum. Like, have you ever seen Gladiator? It was crazy. Like, Profar is hilarious. Last year, that was one of the guys on the team where you could joke with him on any given day. He was the same guy every day. So him like robbing the ball, and we're all standing out there, hands on our heads, like, oh no. And then he shows it. We're all like, this guy, like he's gonna get us in trouble. But I think it was good for us. We needed that boost. You know, we needed some anger in our lives, and them throwing stuff at us. You know, I don't appreciate that, but you know, what are we going to do? It's the fans. It's uncontrollable. So we get in the dugout, Manny tells us it's uncontrollable. Like, lock it in here. This is what we do. We need to get in their heads. We need to just start, like, just go. And yeah, that's kind of how it went the rest of that series. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted, but, you know, yeah, it's a huge moment for us.
Going into 2025, with all this new experience that you've gotten in life, in baseball, now that the season's underway, what's the thing that you want to be able to look back and say, I'm glad I was able to do this in 2025?
Share it with people. I think sharing it with people is what I want to do more, you know, more with my family, more with my girlfriend. I think sharing with people will be huge this year. I think last year was kind of hard for me to find my feet, find where I was at. Even if it didn't look like it, you know, it was still a process to get used to the new life. So communicative skills with outside people, like I want to be better with that. I want to kind of just take them with me, you know, go along with that ride with me and include them more.
Do you feel 21? Because I think that's something that, you know, you seem very mature, wise beyond your years, and when you get to the big leagues at, you know, it was 20 last year, you got to grow up really fast. Do you feel your age or do you feel older? And have you always been this way?
I feel my age, man. I mean, it's the respect thing, back to respect thing, you know, you respect the people that are around you that respect you. So if you're not going to respect me, then maybe I'll act like a 21-year-old around you, but you know, those people that are there for you and to help you, you know, those are the people you should respect. So I'd say I'm mature in a way. I'm not the most mature. My friends, family, girlfriend know, but at the same time, like in everybody's eyes, like I want to be respectful to everybody. You know, I want to be the guy that is nice to everybody no matter who you are.
Maryland guy through and through. I know a guy that you've known for a long time, got drafted the same year, James Wood. What was it like for you to get drafted, which is very new, but have somebody that you had played ball with for a long time since you guys were 14 years old, and then kind of be able to grow for a year and a half in the minor leagues before he gets moved to Washington?
Man, Woody's the man. You know, he's the man. We played against, we were 13, played 13, 14 U-ish together, and then after that, you know, high school kind of separates people. He lived 45 minutes from me, so obviously not the same high school, and he went to IMG, but it kind of comes full circle when you get drafted back to each other, and it's like, wow, I don't know, what are the odds of being your roommate 4 years later, basically in the same situation, the same team, trying to get better, trying to just have fun playing baseball. And, you know, it was short-lived. It was only like a year, obviously, because of the Soto trade, but, you know, I couldn't be more appreciative of that guy. That guy's one of the guys, too, that just, like, I wanted to get better, you know. I watched him play, and it was unbelievable. I watched him play in the ACL and then Lake E when he was first with us, and it was unbelievable to watch. It's a joke, you know. He's hitting backside homers at 15 degrees off the ground in a 430 field. Like, nobody does that. Woody's the only person I've ever seen do that. So I'm more appreciative of just getting able to watch him play.
It's great that you say that, because one thing before I get you out of here, we'll do a little game. Jackson or James? So I'm going to ask you a couple things. You tell me if it's Jackson or if it's James, all right? Who's the better hitter, Jackson or James?
I mean, last year, Woody, it was me. I'm sorry. But 25 is different. You know, you can prove me wrong. So, honestly, I want to see it, too. You know, I'm hyped for you.
All right. More power, Jackson or James?
James. James got juice, dude.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. He got juice, James.
Better outfielder, Jackson or James?
I don't even know. I have no idea. Right now, I'm saying me, though. You know, I'm all over the place, James.
That's fair. You play center field. You know, they have James in left, so
yeah.
We'll give you the edge. We'll give you the edge. More athletic, Jackson or James?
James is a beast, man. He played basketball in high school. If you guys go on Twitter and look up James Wood basketball highlights, this man is getting alley-oops from out of bounds. Like, he's definitely more athletic than I am.
The James Wood mixtape.
Yeah, the James Wood mixtape will go nuts.
Who is funnier, Jackson or James?
James is more like, once you get to know him, he's hilarious. Like, I gotta say James is hilarious. He's got subtle one-liners. He'll clown you a little bit. You know, I'd say James is a really funny dude. I'm more of the laid-back, like, chill kind of guy.
Last one. First one to 2020, Jackson or James?
See, I wish I got 4 more bags last year. And this wouldn't even have been a question.
Right.
But I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try and beat him there. You know, I want to steal more bases this year, especially. So I'm gonna try and beat him there.
All right, I'm gonna send this to you. If James gets there first, he probably will too.
Yeah, he will. he'll be on me if he proves me wrong. Every one of these questions, he'll be on me, dude.
Jackson, I appreciate you taking the time, man.
No, thank you, Russ. Appreciate you.